Oh shit. Hello everyone. Keeping good on my promise to put out more videos this year, I have decided to do this little short video, or I guess short will be relative depending on how long I ended up talking for. But I've decided to tell you guys, well, I guess I'll figure this out on my own, how to say this, but I know this is not the new year, or rather, well, it is the new year, but it's not like the New Year's Day and that people usually put this kind of video on. But I've decided to do it because better late than never, and because I honestly have no video ideas to put out. So this is what I'm doing. I'm not too sure if I'll lump this is with like a little, like, I'm out of ideas, so I'll do this idea, which is will come later, I'm sure. But either way, this video is coming out anyway. And basically the idea is I'm going to talk about games, my favorite games that I played last year, and that I discovered last year and then started playing that I did enjoy, which honestly amounts to only 3 games, which surprised the mess out of me because I thought I would have played more games last year, or at least, well, I probably played a lot of games, but I didn't discover any games, or like guess have the money to like play them like that. In any case, let's get started. Now, it comes with no exception that I have, or rather with no surprise, I mean, that I have started to play Final Fantasy 14, and I did indeed start playing Final Fantasy 14 last year. And if you saw the first video I put out this year, that would not be a surprise. So I get to talk about that. I won't go too crazy about that, or at least I'll try not to. I'm not too sure how I'll go about it in my mind. But yeah, Final Fantasy 14. I started at like in the middle of the year, somewhere around there, like right when I actually had a job, and so I was able to like support the subscription thing, so I could actually keep playing it. But yeah, that game had me hooked from the get-go. I started playing. At first I had like the philosophy that I didn't need to pay for MMOs. I was like, because the first couple MMOs I've ever played were free to play games, but you can imagine how the monetization got through there. Like the first MMO I ever played was Elsword, and once I stopped hanging out with my old high school friends, well, most of my high school friends, that game just became boring. And I couldn't take the egregious microtransactions in that game. Hell, I even played on a fucking private server in that game, and that took out all the pay-to-win bull crap. So you could just get that stuff for free and play the freaking game. I wish the actual Elsword game did that, but it didn't do that. Anyway, so I did believe that I didn't need to pay for any MMOs. I thought MMOs should have been free, and anything that needed to be paid for was not worth my time. But that changed with the fact that I think I noticed that everyone was talking about Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft and how those games were so different. So I ended up just trying Final Fantasy. I already didn't really like Activision Blizzard, and the news that came out that year made me not like it more. In any case, I tried the game out with a free trial that leads up to Heavensward. I'm not going to say the whole spiel because that is a mouthful. You probably get it on me one day, but not right now. I started the free trial, and now I started playing the game. I made my character and all that, and you know how people are with character creators. I spent a whole hour in that one, which is honestly weak sauce for me, but you know. I put as much detail as I wanted to, while also keeping myself ready for the game. So start that off, and the game has me hooked from like the get-go. I'm already like going into work and being like, man, I want to go home and play Final Fantasy, because I start off as a Lancer and all that stuff, and I'm already like, oh my gosh, these animations are cool, and like look how pretty this world is. This world looks so cool, and I just want to get around to explore every bit of it. And the story was not half bad. I mean, I understood the memes and why people kept repeating "Return to Waking Sands," but they didn't really bother me, at least not a lot, because I'm not too what word should I use here? I'm not too like adverse to fetch quests and going back to the same place over and over again. I've been through years of gaming where I've had to do that anyways. So, but yeah, and as soon as I freaking meet a Realm Reborn, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm already hooked. I know I'm gonna enjoy that. This is worth my money. And I didn't even get to the end of the free trial before I started paying for it. That's how good it was to me. Get into Heaven's Ward, and boy, was that a fucking trip. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to leave this game right now because the story is so good. But yeah, if you haven't played Final Fantasy 14 and you think you can, and if you want to try that out, you should. I would definitely recommend it, and I would definitely recommend paying for it. But I wouldn't do what I did and like stop paying for it before and start paying for it before the free trial ends. Oh, and yeah, I definitely pre-ordered that in Walker long before, right as soon as pre-orders went out. I was like, yep, that's it, I'm buying it. I saw the freaking what is it, the benchmark trailer, and I was like, yep, buying it. Anyway, I did beat in Walker, so you're spoiled. I'm immune from all spoilers right now. So anyway, that's it. That's all I'm gonna talk about for Final Fantasy 14. Good game, godlike game, and the people that make that game are awesome, except for whoever decided to make Dark Knight the way it is right now. Well, it's fine in the damage department, but boy, I don't know who thought TBN was so good at it. I don't know who thought like all these tanks needed to heal themselves except for Dark Knight. There was also another job I had a problem with, but I can't remember it right now. I mean, Ninja got fixed a little bit, but that was before I even touched that job. I still haven't touched it yet. I'm trying to level up all the jobs in 90 right now. Anyway, moving on. So whatever these next two good games are the games that managed to break me off from Final Fantasy 14 however long that it goes through. And the next game that broke the chain of me constantly playing Final Fantasy 14 is Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon is a really interesting game. I don't know how to describe it personally, but at first I thought I wouldn't really like it, but I saw many people playing it and modding it. I'll be honest, what got me into the Darkest Dungeon was mods. Seeing all the cool mods for it, I was like, you know what, I guess I'll play it. Let's do it. So I started playing it. Obviously I'm playing on normal mode because I want to see if I actually will like the game. And I'm already very interested in the world building around it, and it's like some hidden evil is within your manor or your old household that you are like, that's yours because your family died. I forgot that you're inherited to. There you go, there's the word I was looking for. So you're inherited to like this manor, and like your ancestors or old folks brought out this hidden evil under it, and now it's like the entire area is cursed with monsters and all that sort of stuff. And so now you have to go in and hire some people and get it back, all while keeping sure you're sane and stuff. So like the game takes place as like, it's 4 dudes in a line type of RPG type of game, and it's kinda RNG dependent. Like you walk through, there's some straight hallways. You don't really explore the dungeons necessarily in a way. There's like a map, and you like follow hallways into specific rooms, and I think each like dungeon is mostly randomly generated, and so you can get whatever. And then when you fight, you just select the unit, and it's units have their turn, and you select their move, and then you can click on a enemy unit. There is some strategy to play with it, in the sense that there's like positioning requirements for certain moves, and certain characters favor certain positions depending on what moves you have for them. And when you have unlock a certain building, you can change up different moves. There's also like the stress mechanic, where basically certain things will increase how much stress characters will get. Like getting hit by a crit will increase your stress, but critting an enemy will decrease stress. It's pretty interesting stuff. I didn't think I would like the stress mechanic, but at the end of it I was like, you know what, this makes a little sense, because now that I can't just spam the same characters over and over again. I have to like plan out which characters I can put in based on how much stress they need. I will say something that is annoying is that when you choose to relieve stress on some of the characters, they'll stay for an extra day or two, and I'm like, bruh, I kind of was hoping that you'd be done by now, but go off, I guess. It's a little annoying, and I think like starting the game is a little troublesome. But once you like really get like nestle into like what the gameplay is and like how good your units are actually doing, you can like plan accordingly and like try to slowly work your way up into beating the darkest dungeon, which is like the last dungeon in the game. I haven't done it myself, but based on how the game works, I feel like if I'm ever like without internet for whatever reason, I'll probably be playing Darkest Dungeon. That or this next game. This next game is one game I was anticipating ever since its launch, and that is Shin Megami Tensei 5. Shin Megami Tensei 5 I was a little skeptical on because it was a Switch exclusive, and I wasn't like really bound to play a Switch exclusive game. Or, well, not that it was a Switch exclusive that turned me off. It was that it was a mainline SMT game that was on a console that really didn't bolster itself well. Like, from what I've seen, there's been like some frame issues, or sometimes it takes a while for a little bit for the textures to load and stuff like that. So I wasn't really planning on getting it, not till it like released on Steam or PlayStation, one or the other. However, Amazon said, I got your back, even though I hate Amazon. But Amazon said there was a sale on Amazon that basically reduced it by almost half, like 45% off. And you said, you know what? Okay, fine, I'll buy it. And I bought the game, and it is a really good game. Most people who review that game said the enemies the bosses felt like health sponges, and I guess I can kind of see it, but it didn't really felt like that to me. And that's because I got onto buffs and debuffs way early on in the game, and that's probably what some people were not doing, or they probably didn't have like the space for it. But I know that buffs and debuffs in SMT are basically run that game sometimes. But yeah, that game is I've only gotten to about halfway through that game because once again it's only managed to distract me from Final Fantasy 14 for a time, and right now I'm leveling all Final Fantasy 14 jobs, so kind of want to do that, and then I'm going to start the raid tier. But still, if I'm ever like without internet or something like that, I'll probably be playing SMT5 or Darkest Dungeon if I have my laptop on me. But yeah, those are the 3 games that have been keeping me quiet. Essentially, those are the games that are, you know, good. Now I know those Darkest Dungeon obviously and Final Fantasy 14 obviously didn't come out that year, but those are the games I discovered for last year, and those are the games that I thought were really cool. I mean, maybe I can say like all the games that I've played last year that are good, but not all of them came out last year or discovered last year. So it's like, oh, that's pretty obvious that you would like that game. You've been playing it for fucking 3 to 10 years. You haven't given it up since. But yeah, that's all I got for today's video. You know what? I will probably put this as like a start for my little side video selection until I actually have some ideas. But until then, thank you for watching this video. You know, usual YouTuber spiel, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later on the next one. Peace.